All right, number 67 on page 261 asks us to find the inverse of this function. F of x equals the square root of 5 plus 8x. They want us to find the inverse. So my recommendation would be first to graph it, so to make sure that it has an inverse, and then to also to analyze the domain and range. So this function could be written as the square root of 8x plus 5. And if we want to do transformations properly, we factor out that 8 plus 5 eighths. So this is the base radical function, which kind of looks like this approximately. And then I'm going to do a horizontal shrink by a factor of 8. So that's going to make it really like that. And then I need to move it in 5/8 of a unit to the right. To the left, excuse me, to the left. So if this is -1. So basically, it's going to look something kind of like this. I guess I'll just leave it like that. It doesn't have to be graphed super accurately. That's 5/8. So let's find the domain. The domain of f is inclusive 5/8 to infinity. The range of f is inclusive 0 to infinity. Therefore, the domain of my inverse is going to be 0 to infinity. And the range of my inverse is going to be 5/8 to infinity. Okay? Kind of a mess with that 5/8, but whatever. All right, so let's find the inverse. I'm going to switch the x's and y. So I'm going to make this x equals the square root of, I don't know which one is better. We could use this one, or we could use this one. Shouldn't really matter. I guess I'm going to use this one because it's a little easier. 5 plus 8x. Switch it to a y. X's to y's and y's to x's. Solve it. Square both sides. X squared equals 5 plus 8y. Subtract 5. X squared minus 5 equals 8y. Divide by 8. Divide by 8. Y equals x squared minus 5 over 8. Or x squared, 1/8 x squared minus 5/8. So that's my inverse function. However, I think I'm going to have a domain problem here. So f inverse of x equals 1/8 x squared minus 5/8. However, if I were to graph this function, it's a parabola with a vertical shrink by a factor of 8. Makes it really, really flat. And then I need to shift it down 5/8 of a unit. So let's go down to -1 here. 5/8 of a unit is going to be about right there. So I'm going to have this portion. Sorry, I have a hard time drawing it. And this portion, or something like that, kind of. But notice, this green graph is not a reflection of what I started with across the line y equals x. And part of the reason is because of this domain restriction right here. Although the implied domain of this is all reals, my actual domain is only supposed to be from 0 to infinity. So basically what I need to do is erase this portion that is to the left of the x-axis. And now, if you just look at those two pieces, that's kind of a nice reflection across the line y equals x, approximately. So in my answer, because my domain is different than what's implied, I need to add, sorry, I'm having a hard time with my pen. Come on, why is it not writing? I need to add a restriction that says x has got to be greater than or equal to 0. Okay? It's one of those tough ones, but this is a testable type of question for the test.